Hello students, today we are going to learn about applications of biotechnology, in which we will learn today about applications in agriculture part 2, in which we will discuss about RNAi, that is RNA interference. In previous lecture, we have already discussed one example of a pest resistant plant, and today we are going to discuss about another example of a pest resistant plants, and that is nematode resistance in tobacco plants. So here this tobacco plant is resistant to this nematode, and that is a scientific name of this nematode is a Melidognaina incognita. In fact, the roots of a tobacco plants. These Melidognaina incognita, in fact, the roots of a tobacco plants causing the reduction in the yield. Okay, so this is a harmful nematode or a worm. It can be prevented by RNA interference, and that is, in short, it is called RNAi strategy. RNAi is a method of a cellular defense in all eukaryotes. This method is already present, naturally it is present, normally it is present in all eukaryotic cells. It prevents translation of a specific mRNA, and that is at silencing, means it will silent the mRNA sequences. And due to the complementary which prevent translation of a specific mRNA, and that is called, means to prevent translation of a specific mRNA, the terminology is called silencing of a mRNA, and that is due to complementary double-stranded RNA molecule. Okay, so by using double-stranded RNA molecule, silencing of mRNA will occur in this case. A nematode, Melidognaina incognita, infest or infect the roots of a tobacco plants. Here you can see roots of a tobacco plants is infected with this nematode, that is a Melidognaina incognita. Okay, and it will cause a great reduction in yield. Okay, so this is very harmful. It will reduce the yield of tobacco plants. A novel strategy was adopted to prevent this type of infection, and that was based on process of RNA interference, and that is also called RNAi. So RNA interference is the phenomena or the process of inhibiting activity of a gene through production of a sense and antisense RNA. So let me discuss about what is a sense and antisense RNA. Okay, we will discuss about sense and antisense RNA. Before we learn about sense and antisense type of RNA, we must have some knowledge about protein synthesis. So let me discuss what is a protein synthesis first. Okay, so first of all, you know very well what is the DNA. Okay, so DNA is a double-stranded sequences. Okay, and out of this DNA, you know very well, on this DNA there is a sequence on which genetical codes are situated in form of A, G, T, and C. Okay, so on the basis of this double-stranded DNA, according to that, particular mRNA will be synthesized, and that process from DNA to RNA synthesis, from DNA to mRNA, that is a messenger RNA synthesis, is called transcription. Be very clear, what is a transcription? Transcription is the phenomena or a process in which double-stranded DNA produce or synthesize mRNA, which is a single-stranded. Okay, be very clear what is a transcription. Okay, afterward what happened? The single-stranded mRNA will now synthesize protein. Okay, according to the codes present on that, and that is called codons. Okay, so the synthesis of protein as per the mRNA, and the process of mRNA which is responsible for the protein synthesis is called translation. So you must be very clear what is the transcription and what is the translation. Let me repeat, from DNA, which is a double-stranded DNA, what is produced? Single-stranded mRNA is produced, and that is called transcription. And out of this single-stranded mRNA, whatever protein synthesis will occur is called translation. Okay, so what happened during the gene silencing? Okay, so this is the normal phenomena, but here we are interrupting in the protein synthesis. Okay, so that is called gene silencing. So this is the naturally whatever transcription will occur normally, but afterward what happened, this mRNA which must be single stranded, okay, will bind with some another molecule which is complementary to the strand of RNA, and as a result of that what happened, these mRNA will become double stranded. Okay, so only single stranded RNA can produce protein. Here what happened, this strand will become double stranded and saturated, and as a result of that this prevention will occur, that is the protein synthesis will be prevented. Okay, as a result of that organism may die. This is the whole principle behind the RNA interference. Okay, so this method involves a specific mRNA silencing. Why it is called mRNA silencing? Because here we have silenced this mRNA expression. Okay, we have silenced the translation process. Okay, that's why it is called mRNA silencing. We are not calling it as a DNA silencing. Why? Because DNA working is normal as per the phenomena. Okay, it will normally form the mRNA, but we are silencing the mRNA. We are preventing the translation process by RNA interference, and that's why it is called mRNA silencing. The result was that the parasite could not survive, okay, in the transgenic host expressing specific interfering RNA. So as a result of that, that parasite, that is a worm or a nematode, will be die or cannot survive. The transgenic plant thus got itself protected from the parasite. This all is the principle behind the RNA interference. So now let me discuss about how we can prepare or produce nematode resistant tobacco plants by using biotechnological principles and tools. The source of a complementary RNA, we have to add complementary RNA because we want to double strand RNA or mRNA we want to silence, and for that we have to add complementary RNA. So the source of infection may be RNA viruses. The source of a complementary RNA may be infection by RNA viruses. We have to infect the organism with the RNA viruses, or we can use mobile genetic elements, that is called transposon. We will discuss about transposon in chapter number 5 in detail. Okay, so but here you should remember what is the source of a complementary RNA. If you want to successfully do the RNA interference, then you have to add complementary RNA, okay, which is complementary to mRNA. So how we can use this? The complementary RNA source will be RNA viruses. You can use RNA viruses, or also you can use mobile genetic element, and that is a transposons that replicate via an RNA intermediate. Okay, and using agrobacterium vector, you know very well agrobacterium tumefaciens are acting as a plant vectors. That is one kind of a bacteria. These are vectors. Okay, so by using agrobacterium tumefaciens vector, you can insert this gene, okay, or RNA inside the nematode, or nematode specific genes or DNA is introduced into the host plants. Okay, so here what you are doing, using agrobacterium vector, you are inserting nematode specific genes, that is a DNA specific genes of a nematode. You are introducing this gene into the host plant. Here host plant is a tobacco plant. Okay, right? So you are adding or inserting this host specific or a nematode specific genes into the host plant cell, that is a tobacco plant, by using agrobacterium vector. It produces both. Okay, it will produce both sense and antisense RNA in the host. We will discuss what is a sense and antisense RNA. Okay, in next slides. These RNAs are complementary to the mRNA. And that's why what happened? So they will form double stranded RNA. Previously it was a mRNA, that is a single stranded, but due to addition of a complementary RNA sequence, it become now double stranded RNA. And as a result of that, it will initiate RNAi, that is the RNA interference, and silence the specific mRNA of a nematode. As a result of that, nematode protein synthesis will be interrupted. Okay, as a result of that, they will die. Thus, the parasite cannot survive. Okay, maybe they cannot survive or maybe they die. Okay, so parasite cannot survive in a transgenic host expressing specific interfering of RNA. Now let me discuss about what is a sense strand or antisense and what is a sense and antisense type of RNA. Okay, so let me discuss that. So I already told you what is a transcription. So transcription is the formation of mRNA or a synthesis of mRNA from double-stranded DNA. Here you can understand these sequences. The sequences are of a DNA. This is double-stranded DNA structure. Okay, so one strand out of that. Okay, so mRNA is a single stranded. That's why what happened during transcription, out of these two strands, only one strand will be expressed as a RNA. Okay, mRNA that is called. Okay, not both of the strand will express itself as a mRNA. Okay, only out of this, only one RNA, means only one strand will be expressed itself as a mRNA. Okay, so one will be sense strand and one will be anti-sense strand. So the sense strand and this is called anti-sense strand. Okay, so what happened? You can understand now, because mRNA is a single stranded, so out of these two, only one will be expressed. Okay, and the sense this is called mRNA with the codon. Here you can see one only single stranded RNA is formed by using out of these two. Okay, so that is called mRNA with the codon or a single stranded mRNA. This whole process is called transcription. Okay, and out of mRNA, which is the single stranded mRNA, translation will occur, and as a result of that, protein synthesis will occur, and that is a peptide, you can say. Okay, so this is the sense sequence and anti-sense sequence. You can understand very clearly. So from the sense sequence, what happened? mRNA will be synthesized and the opposite strand will be called anti-sense strand. Generally, these phenomena will be shown generally. Okay, this is a natural phenomena. But what happened during RNA interference? Both the strand, okay, both strand will capable of production of mRNA strands. Okay, sense strand itself also producing mRNA and anti-sense strand also producing mRNA. Okay, because here you want to complement the RNA and you want the double stranded RNA. That's why both the strand in this case will be express themselves as a mRNA. Now let me understand more by using this diagram. So simply this is the DNA sequence. This is a double stranded DNA sequence. Now what I told you, both of the strand will now produce double stranded RNA. Okay, both strand will be transcribed itself into the RNA or mRNA. As a result of that, both the strand will be complementary to each other. As a result of that, you can see double stranded RNA will be formed. Okay, so double-stranded RNA will be formed, and there is a long strand of RNA. Okay, if it is long strand, then what happens? This long strand must be cut into pieces by using dicer. Okay, this is one kind of enzyme by using which this long strand of a double-stranded RNA will be cut into pieces. Okay, and afterward it is called RNA silencer. Okay, and this is called silencer RNA. And generally, sometime what happen directly this siRNA will be formed. This is a silence RNA. Okay, and this silence RNA now will combine with risk factor, and that is a RNA inducing silencing complex. Okay, so RNA induced silencing complex this is. Okay, so by using this risk factor, it will combine with the assembly, this assembly, and it will cleave sense strand. Okay, as a result of that, what happens? Sense strand will be cleaved or breakdown of a sense strand will be occur. And now this activated risk cell, okay, you can see here this will be this sense strand will be cleaved and remaining one is called activated risk, activated along with the risk. Okay, so it will now bind with the target mRNA recognition. So as a result of that, the target mRNA now become double stranded. And as a result of that, this double-stranded RNA or mRNA cannot form the protein. So now target mRNA will be cleaved, and as a result of that, target protein will be down regulation, means the target protein will be loss of production. Means total synthesis of protein will be inhibited. Now let me summarize whole process by using this diagram. So by using Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacteria, that is acting as a vector, you have inserted in this cell, this is a tobacco cell suppose, or plant cell or a tobacco cell. We are specifically we are discussing about tobacco plant here. So this is the tobacco cell. So in this tobacco cell, by using Agrobacterium tumefaciens vector, we have inserted a nematode specific type of DNA. Okay, and as a result of that, these plant cell is now transgenic cell. Okay, and which is capable of a production of a double stranded RNA, as it is activated as a sense and antisense, both type of DNA is activated. Okay, because it is a transgenic plant cell. Okay, so as a result of that, what happened, this plant cell will now onward will generate double stranded RNA instead of single stranded RNA, because it is transgenic. Okay, so now double stranded RNA first of all will be generated by using dicer. It will be cut down, and as a result of that, you can see here small interfering RNAs, or also it is called silencing RNAs, will be formed. So this is siRNA. S means small, I means interference RNAs, or it is also called silencing RNAs. Okay, so small fragment of siRNA will be generated. Now what happen? This is the nematode. Nematode will be suck the content with the plant cell. Means it will have the means it is a parasite, totally parasite, and that's why they will try to suck the component of the plant cell to get the nutrients. Okay, so at that time what happen, it will along with the nutrient, it will also suck this siRNAs. Okay, now this siRNA will be enter in the body of the nematode. Okay, and it will reach up to the gut of the nematode, and inside that's it will enter in the cells. Okay, and siRNA uptake by the nematode will occur, and as a result of that, these fragments of siRNA will be entered in the cells of a nematode, and that what happen, they will combine with the RIS complex, that is a Now let me summarize whole process by using this diagram. So by using Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacteria, that is acting as a vector, you have inserted in this cell, this is a tobacco cell suppose, or plant cell, or a tobacco cell. We are specifically we are discussing about tobacco plant here. So this is the tobacco cell. So in this tobacco cell, by using Agrobacterium tumefaciens vector, we have inserted a nematode specific type of a DNA. Okay, and as a result of that, these plant cell is now transgenic cell. Okay, and which is capable of a production of a double stranded RNA, as it is activated as a sense and antisense, both type of DNA is activated. Okay, because it is a transgenic plant cell. Okay, so as a result of that, what happened, this plant cell will now onward will generate double stranded RNA instead of single stranded RNA, because it is transgenic. Okay, so now double stranded RNA first of all will be generated by using dicer. It will be cut down, and as a result of that, you can see here small interfering RNAs, or also it is called silencing RNAs, will be formed. So this is siRNA. S means small, I means interference RNAs, or it is also called silencing RNAs. Okay, so small fragment of siRNA will be generated. Now what happen? This is the nematode. Nematode will be suck the content with the plant cell. Means it will have the means it is a parasite, totally parasite, and that's why they will try to suck the component of the plant cell to get the nutrients. Okay, so at that time what happen, it will along with the nutrient, it will also suck this siRNAs. Okay, now this siRNA will be enter in the body of the nematode. Okay, and it will reach up to the gut of the nematode, and inside that's it will enter in the cells. Okay, and siRNA uptake by the nematode will occur, and as a result of that, these fragments of siRNA will be entered in the cells of a nematode, and that what happen, they will combine with the. Now let me discuss about some more examples. The protein hirudin present in the leech, you can see here, this is the leech which is produced in the protein hirudin, and this hirudin protein is responsible for preventing the blood clotting. Okay, so we can chemically synthesize this gene. Okay, this is a synthetic hirudin gene, and we can introduce this gene into the Brassica napes, that is also called turnip, okay, or shalgam, and the seeds of this latter came to have hirudin. Okay, so this is now transgenic Brassica napes, and that can produce the seeds which will contain hirudin. We can isolate the hirudin protein from that, and we can purify them, and we can use this purified hirudin for preventing the blood clotting. Another very good example is a flower sour tomato, which is the first transgenic variety to reach the market for the normal public. And here what we do, inactivation of a gene which is responsible for production of a polygalactourinase enzyme, and as a result of that, what happened, the known availability of this enzyme, due to absence of this enzyme, it will prevent the over ripening. Okay, so you can see here, this is the tomatoes, which is fresh tomatoes, and afterward, after 2 to 3 days or 1 week, what happened, there will be start degradation, okay, in presence of a polygalactourinase enzyme. This is just due to polygalactourinase enzyme. But now what we have done, we have inactivated this enzyme. As a result of that, we can keep this tomato fresh for a longer period of time. Okay, so non-availability of enzyme prevent the over ripening, because the enzyme is essential for the degradation of a cell wall, and these enzyme already we have inactivated. As a result of that, the degradation of cell wall may not occur, and we can keep this tomato fresh for the longer period. Next example is a golden rice, which is a transgenic variety of a rice, and the scientific name of a rice is Oryza sativa, which contain good quantities of beta carotene, and this beta carotene is responsible, or we can say precursor, or a provitamin for the A. Okay, so it is the inactive state of a vitamin A, and that's why we can say this is golden rice is rich with vitamin A. Another very good example of application of biotechnology is to production of value-added products like nutrition supplement, pharmaceutical, fuels. The fuels which can produce by this by using this technology, we can call it as a biofuels. Okay, by using the transgenic crop, we can produce such a biofuels, and such a farming in which we can use the biotechnology is called molecular farming. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize whole topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
Biotechnology has given rise to several interesting methods of pest resistance, such as RNA interference. It is a method of cellular defense in all eukaryotic organisms. It is designed to control the infestation of nematodes, or roundworms, which act as parasites in several plants and animals. For example, a nematode named Meloidigyne incognitia infects the roots of tobacco plants and leads to a drastic reduction in crop yield. This pest in tobacco roots can be controlled using RNA interference. This method involves silencing of a specific messenger RNA of the nematode due to a complementary double-stranded RNA molecule. The source of this complementary RNA could be from an infection by viruses having RNA genomes or mobile genetic elements called transposons. These transposons replicate via an RNA intermediate called reverse transcriptase. Using agrobacterium vectors, nematode-specific genes are introduced into the host tobacco plant. Since these two RNAs are complementary to each other, they form a double-stranded RNA that initiates RNA interference. The introduction of DNA is such that it produces both sense and antisense RNA in the host cells. The small interfering RNA strands of double-stranded RNA bind to messenger RNA and prevent translation of the mRNA that cause silencing. As a result, the messenger RNA of the nematode is silenced. Consequently, the parasite is not able to survive in a transgenic or genetically engineered host expressing specific interfering RNA. Therefore, the transgenic plant gets protected from the parasite. Pests are the bane of food-producing plants. The growth of pest-resistant plants and the development of methods such as RNA interference have revolutionized agriculture and ensured good food production.
In next lecture, we will learn about applications in medicinal science. Okay, so till that, goodbye.